YouTube, what up? Young Mustard is back with another video, and today we are here to talk about some Cleveland basketball. Now, I'm sure a lot of people may rush under this video and say it's only one game, but guys, I've been saying this about the Cavs all year. The Cleveland Cavaliers are just not going to make it back to the NBA Finals. And honestly, before we get into this video, because I know a lot of people have a lot of mixed feelings about it, I want to give a shout out to the sponsors, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the app that takes tickets from all over the web and puts them in one place that makes buying them easy. They score every ticket from 1 to 10 to make sure you're getting the best deal. You can also view the seats from the app to let you know where you're going to sit specifically. And also, if you're not convinced, make sure you click on the link in the description and enter the promo code MUSTARD for $20 off on your first purchase. Now back to the video at hand. When it comes to the Cleveland Cavaliers, this team has been basically the definition of inconsistency all year. They started off the season 5-7, losing to teams like the Magic by 21, Brooklyn without D'Angelo Russell, the Knicks by 19, they got blown off the court by Indiana, and they lost to Atlanta, which is one of the worst teams in the league. Then they went on a 13-game winning streak, and everybody thought all their problems were solved, and things were only going to get better when Isaiah Thomas returned. But little did they know that Isaiah Thomas would basically be the destruction of this team, because Isaiah Thomas coming back, having to take out Derrick Rose from the starting lineup due to injury, and then having to take out Jose Calderon from the starting lineup, their defense just got worse, because the defense of the Cleveland Cavaliers, even during their winning streak and even during their losing streak, was already as bad as it is, having Kevin Love playing the 5 and other pieces such as D Wade not being able to space the floor, and defensively we all know what he is. Derrick Rose defensively was never that good to begin with, and with the combination of injuries, he's basically a liability, and he can't space the floor, and he needs the ball in his hands every single possession to be effective. The Cavs, they just struggled on each and every possession because Isaiah Thomas, 5'9", coming off of a hip injury, was just not going to give them the production that they needed in order for them to consistently win games. You see, before Isaiah Thomas was even on the team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they were winning games, and then when Isaiah came, they were below 500 in the 19 games that he played with the Cavaliers. They were 9-19. They struggled to win games against teams like the Magic. Actually, they blew leads against teams like the Magic. So it is clear that Isaiah Thomas only made them worse. Now, I know a lot of you guys know this, but the reason I'm bringing this up is because when they traded Isaiah Thomas and a bunch of other players such as D Wade, Jay Crowder, Iman Shumpert, and Derrick Rose, they got pieces that a lot of people assumed would help this team get better. But the thing is, these pieces are, 1, young, which leads into the second point. 2, they're inconsistent. And 3, defensively, they're still bad. They're not a good defensive team. Larry Nance, Jordan Clarkson, Rodney Hood. None of those 3 players played defense at an average level. Even though players such as Rodney Hood have the athleticism to play it at maybe even an elite level one day, they still don't even play it at an average level. I mean, you look at George Hill, yes, he's a good defensive player, but the problem with George Hill is that offensively, he has literally been inconsistent. Now we're in the playoffs, because in the playoffs, a lot of people are looking at this team and saying, can they even make it out of the Eastern Conference? And my answer to that has to be no. I don't think so. Now, obviously, I'm not looking at just the game against Indiana. I'm looking at their season as a whole. When you look at the pieces on this roster, LeBron James and Kevin Love are the only star talent that they have. When you look at a team like Philly, or when you look at a team like the Toronto Raptors, Philly and Toronto are 2 teams that I believe are very capable of beating this team. And honestly, if you think that the Cavs will come out of the East, you have no reason to believe that they can, aside from the name LeBron James. That's really it. That's the only thing that you're putting stock in to show up in the NBA playoffs for the Cleveland Cavaliers and lead them to the finals. That's it, because their defense is atrocious. Offensively, they're okay, but let's be honest, it's not like great like it used to be in the days with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love as LeBron's 2 best players. And when you look at the game last night against the Indiana Pacers, though I do believe they will beat the Pacers, there was just numerous parts of the game that was just extremely inconsistent. Though J.R. Smith did have a good game, let's be honest, he's one of the most inconsistent players in NBA history. Jeff Green was 0 of 7 from the field. Jordan Clarkson shot 33% and missed all 3 of his 3-point attempts. And though Rodney Hood did shoot 50%, he only scored 9 points, and from 3 he shot 25% on 4 attempts. So it is clear that this team they are going to need consistent play from somebody else aside from LeBron and Kevin Love. And Kevin Love didn't even play that well, but I'm assuming Kevin Love just had a bad game, so I'm going to kind of give him a pass for game 1. And when you look at the roster here, only 19 players averaged at least 10 minutes or more during the season. In that game against the Pacers, only 8 players played over 10 minutes. Everybody else, 9 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes, and another 2 minutes. And I understand why they don't want to play Tristan Thompson. I mean, he just got off that Kardashian curse, so let's give him a bit, a little bit more time for him to, get adjusted to regular everyday life. So when it comes to this roster, it is clear that the consistency from the other players, as they get more minutes, who knows what it's going to be. One game they'll have a great game, and the next game it'll just be bad. I mean, there are literally times where in Clarkson, Hood, and even Nance, they are just completely off and out of sync. But that's what happens when you have a lot of young players. And I understand why LeBron didn't re-sign. I mean, why re-sign when the pieces around you don't even know what they're gonna bring every single night for the next year or so, because they're still in their young phases. I mean, when you look at someone like Jordan Clarkson, he's been coming off the bench of the Lakers. Getting these amount of minutes on a playoff team is something that he just has not seen. The same with Rodney Hood, even George Hill to an extent. Though he has been on an Eastern Conference contender, he's never been on a legit contender to make the finals. So being on this team with this amount of pressure may just be something that they're just not used to. So when it comes to these pieces on the Cavaliers, this may be the toughest thing that LeBron has had to carry ever since the days when he had Boobie Gibson, Mo Williams, and Larry Hughes, and Fat Shaq and Old Ben Wallace. So it is clear that LeBron James is doing too much for this roster. He's doing too much when it comes to carrying, and LeBron is just not who he is on the defensive side of the ball, because defensively this team is trash. Let's just call it what it is. There is nothing on this team that screams average defense aside from LeBron when he wants to even play it, because this team defensively, there is not a single piece that can play it at an elite level. And when you're going against players such as Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, which will cause mismatch problems everywhere, and also players such as DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, because on that perimeter, that defense is just garbage. Though I love Victor Oladipo, he is one of my favorite players to watch in the league. Let's be real, if Victor Oladipo was going against a team that had some competent defenders, he wouldn't have torched them the way he torched them last night. So it's clear that defensively, they're a whole another level of disappointment and just plain old inconsistency. And when the Cavs get bounced out of the playoffs, whether it's in the second or the third round in the Eastern Conference Finals, I will scream that word again. Inconsistency, because that's the one word that describes the Cleveland Cavaliers this year. Inconsistency. This is your boy Young Mustard signing out. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section as well. Now, I'm not saying this is a sure bet thing. I'm not saying they're automatically gonna, lose the rest of the games. They're not gonna get out the first round, or they're gonna get eliminated. I'm not guaranteeing it, but this is my opinion. I just don't think that they're gonna make it out of the Eastern Conference. I don't think they're going to make the finals. I just don't see it. So you guys let me know in the comment section. Like this video if you liked it. Also subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell next to my name to be notified after each and every video that I post. This is your boy Young Mustard signing out. Have a great day. Peace.